Hello lovelies, welcome to Narc Free Formula. My name's Freedom. Thank you for joining me. Today's video is why the narcissist can move so easily between new and old sources of supply. Many a person has been baffled by that phenomenon. And what I mean by this is, I get messages and texts or whatever from clients and people that watch my show, watch my channel, and saying things like, we were married for 20 years, and within 3 weeks, he's got a new supply, he's forgotten about me, acts like I don't exist, and it comes as a shock to people when that kind of happens. What is even more confusing is when the narcissist then also turns around and either tries to stay in contact with their former supply or tries to re-hoover the former supply. And by that, I mean, get back with them. So I really want to help everyone get clear on this. This is really, really important. This is not a reflection of you as a person, as an individual, as a wife, partner, lover. It's not a reflection on the new supply as any of those things either. What this is about the narcissist and the way they use people as sources of fuel. And when I say fuel, what I mean is basically narcissists at their very essential core are users who cannot regulate their own emotional well-being. So they need other people to fuel them, essentially, to admire them, to praise them, to make them feel good about themselves because they don't have very high self-esteem, essentially. And this doesn't mean that they're just insecure people. Narcissistic personality disorder it's a real personality disorder. It's not a disease or an illness. It's a personality disorder is formed, even though I'm doing that, it's actually a personality disorder, sorry. A personality disorder is formed basically like our personalities are formed. It's essentially what that term really means is there's something wrong with their personality. So they keep doing certain things often enough to it become to the point where it is now their personality. Right? So when they have a personality disorder, that means it's something that they're doing wrong over and over again. So narcissists don't think there's anything wrong with them. That's why they have this personality disorder in the first place. So getting back to how and why they can interchange their sources of supply so quickly and so easily is you've got to understand, to a narcissist, you don't matter as an individual. They don't care about you as a person. They don't care about, your good qualities. They don't really care about, your accomplishments, anything you've actually done. They don't really care about that unless it somehow reflects onto them. So what that means is when you are with them, the only value you really have is when you're supplying them with fuel. And even if it's, fuel through negative, behavior, whereas you guys are fighting, for example, and you might be begging him not to leave or, or yelling down the phone or whatever it is, they get fuel from that as well, right? That makes them feel powerful, wanted, in control, that kind of thing. So getting back to it. So, you don't essentially really mean anything to them other than the performance that you are giving them, what you are doing for them. And then, in turn, when they either discard you or you leave them and they get new supply, it's the same thing there, right? So that person doesn't really mean anything to them. It's just essentially like an appliance. Here we go. Quite literally like an appliance, so like my vacuum, right? My vacuum just died. I don't care about my vacuum. I'm just going to get a new vacuum. That's how narcissists view us, right? So the other thing also is they live in this la-la land where they project a lot of stuff onto whoever they're with, right? So just like they create these kind of, the false construct with their own, with their own personality. It's just this constructed thing where they take bits and pieces of other people's personalities, things they saw in a movie or on television, whatever. So they've kind of put that all together to create their mask. Well, they do a similar thing with their partners as well. They project stuff onto their partners. So when they are feeling good towards you, you are the everything. You are the all that is and all that ever will be. You are Queen Sheba. You are a goddess. And then you do something wrong. And it might be tiny, right? But then you fall from grace. And the very same person that you were now all of a sudden is, I don't know what they're calling you, dishonest, sneaky, a liar, a cheat, whatever it is that they're projecting onto you, right? So just like they do that when you are in the relationship with them, they do the same thing between their fuel sources. So they can go from primary fuel source, so i.e. you, to then sourcing new supply, being with new supply, and it's no skin off their nose to, like I said, to go backwards and forwards between, those two fuel supplies or include other new earth fuel supplies. But once they've been with someone for about, 3 months, they'll be starting to look for new supply because, that first kind of stage that narcissists go through, they're like kind of really giddy it's not in love because they don't do love. It's like infatuation. Limerence is the word. It's an actual state. And it's like infatuation. It's just a bit higher and a little bit giddier, right? And that person can do no wrong. Because like I said, they're just projecting all this stuff, all these personality traits, all these, ideals and all the stuff that they want to think about you. And just like that, they can take that and put it onto the next person. Or they can take it away, right? So they're living in a la-la land. This is why they can replace people. It doesn't bother them. They just need someone to be their primary fuel supply. And then, like I said, and then in turn, they're going to need new supply. When that primary fuel supply starts acting up, doesn't, pump out as much fuel as it did in the beginning or whatever, then they'll start sourcing new supply. So I always make comments about, it's not about the new supply. It's not about you, the woman that came before you, the new supply, or the woman that's coming after her. All right, this is all in the narcissist's own mind and their own sick and twisted reality that they create, this illusion that they create. And because you're healthy and a non-disordered person, you're looking at going, well, how could they say that they love me and, we were married all that time and then now they've all of a sudden they've just picked up with someone else. How can they do that, right? That comes as a shock to a healthy person. But in the narcissist mind, they don't even see that that's like a red flag. They don't see that. They're just so busy creating this illusion, that this new one, that's the one that's going to, make them feel good about themselves. But hey, we all know how that goes. All right, lovelies. I hope that helped for any of you who are, just feeling that confusion. And it is really confusing. Like when it first happens to you, it just, it makes your head spin. You can't figure out, which way is up, what's actually going on, how this could happen, if it's really even happening. But yeah, it is happening. And once again, let me just reiterate, it is nothing about your value as a person. You have value. You have worth. Okay? Do not ever get that twisted. Right? In a narcissist mind, no one has value. Okay? No one at all. All right, lovelies. Thanks for listening. Bye.